Yeah. Birdman. Birdman says the East and the West will never regain dominance. I'm also reacting to the Beehive ATL episode with Choke No Joke, where they had the discussion. Very interesting. I'm gonna give my take on that discussion. If you haven't saw it, go check it out, man. Very interesting. They had a discussion on Beehive ATL's radio station podcast, and they were talking about this Birdman thing. They were talking about will the South hold on to its dominance. First, I'm gonna give my take on Birdman's statement. Birdman says the East Coast and West Coast will never regain dominance. A lot of y'all might be a little too young to understand what it was like um, before, let's say 2000 and let's say before 2005. Let's just say 2005. Beehive said the South has been running the game for 25 years. I disagree. Now I remember when the South took over. I remember when they started to take over. I remember when they were trying to take over. So yeah, Birdman, he is correct. He could be correct. I can see where he's coming from. The South totally obliterated the East Coast rap, the East Coast style of rap, the boom bap. It totally wiped it out. It is not even something that people want to hear on a massive scale. When you think of rap nowadays, you think of the 808, you think of trap beats, you think of southern music. So I can't be mad at Birdman's statement. I can't be mad at that. But on the flip side, if you look at artists such as, say for instance, a J. Cole, maybe even a Kendrick Lamar, um, they sell music. Okay? Now, there's a saying that history repeats itself, right? History repeats itself. I believe hip hop, the culture, where it started, is such a powerful thing that I believe that it can regain dominance. The way that these artists are killing each other, the way that the topics and the lyricism and it's the same song over and over and over and over and over. The way that Sexy Red, shout out to Shawty, man, shout out to Sexy Red, uh, Lip Gloss, what's the other girl name? Glorilla. The way that this ratchet slut music is taking over, the South is in danger of losing their dominance. The South could very well lose dominance based on the content that is being produced. It is absolutely horrendous at this point. It is terrible. I hate to be the old nigga in the room, but even the younger generation, they know that this is like a parody. I saw it somewhere, somebody said this is like a parody of rap music. And I totally agree. This out of hand. Y'all know the lyrics that are out there. Y'all know what is being rapped about. One of the hottest songs of the summer was Pound Town, okay? And you know the lyrics in that, man. You know what the hottest line of the summer was. That was the hottest line of the summer. If the content has came to this low vibrational, just, I mean, it's got to the point where it's like, it's a joke. It's a joke, man. There may be a resurrection of boom bap lyricism, New York type of music. Things come and go. There's nothing new under the sun. Uh, there is room for the South to lose its dominance, depending on how New York is going to act. I remember when New York was on top. I remember when the South was creeping up. I remember when Master P dropped his imprint, and when he started dropping albums every week or month. Uh, I remember very vaguely. I remember when Rough Riders changed their sound. When Rough Riders came and changed the sound of New York, and it was more of a bounce. Swiss Beats, I believe, is responsible for New York's demise. He's partly responsible for New York's demise. Uh, Jay Z, Can I Get a, that had a bounce to it. And I remember Cameron, he had a song where, he asked, like, when the fuck we start bouncing? I remember when the music changed. I remember when uh, the South was creeping up on New York's ass. I've always been rocking with the South. I bought Ghetto Mafia single uh, straight from the deck. I was a big Master P No Limit fan. I was a big Cash Money fan. I'm in Maryland. I'm in the DMV area, so we listened to everything. You understand? We listened to West Coast, Midwest, Southern music, and we can also go to the East Coast, New York rap. We knew it all. Like it was, we right here in the Middle East. They used to call it the Middle East. Um, so yeah, the South, y'all been holding it down for a very long time. I think it really took over. Uh, I think it really took over around 2005. Once Lil Jon came out, Lil Jon, uh, you had the snap music. I think that really put the foot on New York's neck because remember, New York was still around. They had Dipset, you had Jim Jones, you had other New York artists still coming up. But once that good, feel good dancing music came out, and you had Lil Jon was crunk, and then you had the snapping fingers. Like people wanted to have fun, man. Like that era of the DVD era, man. Shit, it was such a tough guy. It was such a tough guy vibe. It got real old. It got played out. The Smack DVD. Everybody had guns out. Everybody was talking like gangsters. There was a lot of tough talk going on. Uh, that got old very quick. I remember Street Wars. P. Gutter, he came out with Street Wars. And Street Wars was CDs of just different New York rappers beefing with each other. They had some down south, Midwest rappers beefing with each other, but it was all about beef. I think that contributed to the demise of New York rap. Um, so yeah, about 2005 is when the South really put New York on its back. Now, I was watching the Beehive ATL podcast today, and Beehive was arguing with Choke No Joke, and it was a very good conversation, very interesting conversation. You had Beehive defending the South, and he seemed to be a little biased. You understand? He seemed to be a little biased, very biased, which is understandable because that's where he's from. He's from the South. That's what he knows. But let's be real clear, man. There are a bunch of groups, and all this shit is preferential. All this stuff is about somebody's preference. You can't say Outkast was the best group because the best is what you feel is the best. So I'm gonna give my opinion on what I feel. Outkast was not the best hip hop group of all times. We cannot do that. We can't. It's just too many other groups. We got Wu-Tang Clan. We got Public Enemy. We got Mobb Deep. We got Capone and Noriega. I wouldn't consider them the best, but they are in the conversation. We had all these groups I mean, don't even we can't get started on the Kid and Plays, Run DMCs. Uh, it's a bunch. It's a big list, man. So I think when we get into the best and we get into these lists, it's all preferential. Um, but Choke No Joke was busting their ass. He couldn't believe what they were saying. He couldn't understand what they were saying. It was definitely a New York guy having a conversation with some down south guys. Two different worlds. It was blasphemous. You mean to tell me the Migos are better than Mobb Deep? You can't be serious. I mean, you tell somebody from up top. You know what I'm saying? You tell somebody from up top the Migos are better than Mobb Deep. Hell, you can't tell me the Migos are better than Mobb Deep. Duo and group is not the same thing, but they count. They Complex gave Outkast the best group. You know these lists. They are saying that the duo can be a group. That's what they saying, right? Uh, yeah, you can't tell me or somebody from my neck of the woods that Outkast was better than Mobb Deep or Wu Tang for that matter. Uh, you tell me. Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Is the South going to take it for the rest of the to the end of time, or does New York and the West Coast have a chance to bring it back home and reclaim some sort of dominance? The South has been stepping on shit for way too long. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Again, I believe that people want to have fun. They want the vibe. They want that vibe. They want to hear that sound. That boom, boom, shh, boom. But that shit got old. It got old, dog. It got old. And it was only so far you can go with it. It was only so much you could do with it. But with the Southern sound, when Master P came out, he had the 808s. He was bouncing. They had KLC, Beats by the Pound. Beats by the Pound was so serious with it. If you turn on Beats by the Pound today, their beats are timeless. You understand? So Swiss Beats came. He had the Southern. He mixed the Southern beats with the New York stuff, the New York vibe. But I believe people wanted to have fun. People still want to have fun. People don't want to be all serious. A lot of the New York rap, you can't really play it when you know, down south. The vibes don't match. You understand? You throwing some Mobb Deep while you in Atlanta, it just doesn't really go with the vibe, right? You can put Future on anywhere, and it's gonna go with the vibe. You know, but yeah, Choke No Joke was busting everybody ass on that panel. The panel was out of their mind. They had some very peculiar uh, thoughts and takes on Southern rap and who is the best, etc., etc. Now, some of those people do fit at the top of the list, but again, it's all preferential. Leave a comment, man. Tell me what you think about this topic, man. Go watch the interview and tell me what you think about it because I'm about to watch it again. It was very interesting. It was, they was yelling over each other, but it was a very passionate conversation. But leave a comment, man. Like the video, subscribe. I'm gonna do some more hip hop topics here soon. I want to get into some hip hop debates, man. I want to bring some people on so we can have some hip hop debates and just hash it out in a debate format. You understand? And we can see what that do. But yeah, man. Hey, shout out to everybody out there, man. Go get you some money. Go get you some serenity, some peace. Go kiss your family. Life is short. I always try to leave a message, man. My message is pretty much the same, man. Be grateful for what you got today. You dig? I will be back. I will see y'all soon. Thanks for tapping in. Peace.